I saw Homer posted something about 300th episode. Yeah, we were talking about that a couple days
That
ago.
information was
The
posted on WGA's website and then immediately taken down. So until
yep.
it goes back
So
up, we're not running with it. I mean, we saw the information.
we did, and it's kind of what we thought it would be
Mm-hmm.
anyway. The name, I mean, makes sense. The Grand Prix pre-opening, that makes sense. It's the opening before the opening. It's the day of, and we figured it'd be Lauren and Noah writing it up. They always do those kind of episodes, and it's probably more of a story for the two of them to tell, since they're the ones that developed the show, and they probably know the story better than anyone else.
I am curious as who's directing it.
If I had to guess, I would assume Bernard and Simon.
That makes all the sense in the world.
I'm gonna guess too. I'm really hoping we get aspect ratio change and the graininess, like filter and stuff. I think if they do all that kind of stuff, because I mean, with the Western, we had the aspect ratio change. The movie had the big change. I think that's when you pull Bernard and Simon in, because they're going to be the ones that will do that kind of.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like.
I mean, there's a lot of them that could, though. Aaron can do a lot of that stuff. I feel like this. I mean, Bob's crew is so talented anyway.
I feel like for the 300th episode, Jesus Christ.
The 300th.
I want them to go smaller with it. I want it to be like, because with the Western episode, like you were saying, it was big, it was grandiose. We saw these large cinematic pieces.
Big wide backgrounds.
I want it tight on the shop. I want it tight on the family. I want that. Very rarely do I want an episode that's just the family, and this is an episode where I want just Bob, Linda, and Tina. Like if this episode turns out to not have Gene and Luis, I'd be fine with that.
I'm okay with it.
I'd be fine if Tina wasn't there. If we just get a pregnant Linda.
I think if they want to make it Tina there, I think you just show Linda with a belly, and that's it. Like it's there, like she's there, but she's not there. I think that'd be fine, and I'd love to see young Ted.
Yeah, I think we'll see.
Just because I feel like he's been there since the get-go. Him and Mort probably have always.
I think we'll see Mort, Teddy, Pesto, and Trev not yet. Fish odor. And then that may be it as far as the cast of characters go, because we're going so far back in time.
My only odd one that I'd like to see, and it's probably not going to change much. I think the joke would be that his outfit doesn't change, is roller skate guy going by.
Yeah, he looks like he's stuck in a certain time, and if we
like it, just nothing's aged with him. And maybe that's his thing. He's just the stranger of this universe who just is always there.
Let me ask you this, and this is a question to the audience as well. Do you want it to be an old episode, or do you want it to be Bob and Linda telling a story that we get flashback, like the radio episode?
Like the radio. I want the radio vibe. We've talked about it. I think it's just better suited for that. I think it's a good story to tell the kids, and because they weren't there. And I think it's kind of an important thing to talk about. It could be about them being nervous, like we're doing this, it's Bob's dream. Maybe it doesn't go exactly well, but then one person's just like, that was great. That was a great burger. And it's just like, that fixes the whole night. Or he gets a big tip and he's like,
in your mind, what's the catalyst for Bob and Linda to tell the kids the story? Because obviously they're not just going to, here's a random story. You want to hear?
I think if I had to assume what it is, I think it'll be similar to radio, where they're going through a box of stuff and they find the picture of Bob and Linda in the front with the sign. And like, you wonder why it's not out. And maybe the ending of the episode is Teddy hammering it and putting it up. And that's how it ends. It's like, the sign got put up. This picture's finally up. Maybe Bob thought he lost it. Or it's the first $1.
That's what I was just about to say. They find the first $1. And so like in my mind, I'm picturing they're cleaning up at the end of the night. They find something, and then they're all just gathered in the restaurant, like at a booth telling the story. And like the episode starts in the restaurant. We go through the whole. It ends with them locking it up and turning off the light and going upstairs, which could also be the way the series ends. But we're not talking about that.
Yeah, I would honestly be fine with that. There was one more set piece when you were talking about it. I'm actually okay if they're sitting there just talking in the
Mhm.
restaurant, going through the box, and the memories lead into the
Mhm.
episode. If even like Teddy pops in and he even tells a little bit of
Mhm.
the story, like he jumps in and tells like, well, I was just walking by, or like I was driving by and saw Bob's Burgers, and I was like, Bob Burger works then, and like just
Mhm.
he pops in, like that's how he
Mhm.
got Teddy.
Yeah.
Maybe he was doing handyman stuff and he's like, oh, well, I don't have any money to pay you, so here's a burger. And he's like, oh, in that
Would
moment I
you
was
wanna
hooked.
actually see 'cause in my mind, I would like to see them going all the way up until doors open. Like, I don't know if I need to see, like,
Yeah,
the day of everything opening, unless it ends with, like, a catastrophe, like
no.
one of the opening credit catastrophes.
That's what I'm wondering is if the story is that it's the opening that almost didn't
Mhm.
happen. And it was kind of like maybe Teddy and Mort and some of the more people we saw at the beginning of the series really kind of helping them launch Bob's Burgers. But really, we don't need to see the whole shift and everything. I think it's more of just like them being like, yeah, people just kind of
Mhm.
came and helped. It was kind of nice. It's like the small victory. Like the little guy actually
I
got
think it'd
help.
be fun if they had I can't remember what the first catastrophe is in the opening credits, but if that were to play out, the fire.
The
Okay,
fire.
so the fire happens, and then like there's some kind of throwaway joke that Bob's like, "Well, at least it can't get any worse than this," and then we know, well, no, there's 3 or 4 more coming your way, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I wonder if it's going to be a two-parter or an extra long episode, like Bleakening or the Warforce.
Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah.
Bleakening or the War Force. I mean, I would actually think it'd be kind of funny if maybe the disasters are part of it. And maybe it's not the grand
Hmm.
reopening, but maybe that is it, where they've tried many times to open the
Hmm.
restaurant. And literally, it's just like each time a catastrophe happened, and they're like, I don't know if we can actually do it. Maybe it's cursed.
Let's see. Maybe we'll see Ronnie Hugo. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Hugo. Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if he's opening a restaurant, the health inspector does have to come by and do his thing. So I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Hugo. I don't think we'll see Rondo.
I don't know, though. I almost feel like we would see a different health
Mm,
inspector. Because remember, Hugo shows up to Bob's Burgers at the first episode, and he's just like, "Linda, you
you're
work
right.
here. This is Bob, the
You're right.
restaurateur." So I don't know if he knew. Maybe it is Ron who shows up first, and Hugo's the one who comes later, or maybe
I
it's a
mean,
different one altogether.
yeah, because at that point of episode 1, we've already done 4 reopenings. So clearly Hugo hasn't been around
Mm-hmm.
all that time. So that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Because I'd be fine with if we get all the disasters, and it's really like we haven't been able to open for a month. We don't have any money left. Like it has
Mhm,
to launch. Like it has to go well. And then it actually goes okay. It never goes well
mhm,
for Bob, but it goes okay. And they're like, well, maybe we
mhm.
can do this.
Cello says they do a lot of storytelling episodes. I think it would be good as its own full episode rather than just talking about it. I don't think they would give it justice. Let's say, oh no, they're definitely going to dive into it. No way they're just going to
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. Really flesh it out. Yeah, so I'd love to see Teddy introduced in a funny way, but annoying to Bob. I could see, I could see Teddy. Like if I had to choose a way for Teddy to introduce himself, I think maybe he's new in town and he's going around just handing out handyman cards. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
then he hands one to Bob. He's like, "Hey, if you need any work done, just let me know." And then he's like, "Ah," just tucks it away or something. He's like, "Oh, I'll never see him again." Then they find the card years later or something.
Maybe that's the joke. Is it's the old business card,
Hmm.
the handy
It
hubby. And it's like
it'd be.
because that could be in the box. Maybe that's part of the
Mhm,
box. Is like there's a picture, the dollar. Maybe there's like the first menu, which is really
mhm,
small. The note, like the menu, like the carbon copies of the tickets and stuff like that they had, and maybe it is kind of like Teddy's business card, and that's how he
mhm,
gets brought in. Like, who's this guy? Who's the handy hubby? Like,
mhm,
oh, that's
mhm.
Teddy. Yeah, Teddy popped in and gave us his card. That was how we
I
first
I
met Teddy.
wonder I wonder if we're thinking it's going to be the radio episode. They're just going to tell a singular story. But what if we're seeing like the opening day from like different perspectives?
Oh, kind of like the idea we have with like
Yeah. So
everyone going how Bob's essential to people.
Yeah, so we get like
I'd be
Bob's
fine with
version
that,
and like
honestly.
Linda's version and maybe Teddy's version, but I don't know if Teddy was there from the beginning, but I mean that could be a fun twist on it too. That's why I said maybe we'll see Big Bob, Al, Gloria, Gale. No, I don't think
I don't
so.
think so. I don't think we'll see Big Bob. Big Bob, he was surprised that Big Bob kept his first review. So I think Big Bob didn't come, and I think that could actually be one of the big reasons that Bob's thinks it's cursed or it's bad because like his dad's not.
Yeah, and at that point, I believe Lily was already dead, so she ain't gonna be there.
Yeah. Yeah, she died when Bob was a teen, so she won't be there. Al and Gloria, I don't know if they'll.
No reason for him to.
It might be like that. Might be the fun thing that the win for Bob. Honestly, an easy joke, an easy punch up would be literally like, "My parents aren't coming."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so
especially
sad.
if they're in Florida. I mean, it's safe to assume they were already old, so they probably already moved to Florida at that point. No, we've never had a chance to meet Linda and Gail's grandparents. No, I don't think they will.
I don't think we'll do that.
Yeah, we don't need to.
Plus, you don't want to introduce new characters when you're doing an episode like this. I feel like it's too much. Because then you got to explain why they're there. You got to explain who they are. It takes away from the time. Because even like War Force and things like that, like Fanny's in it, but it's a real quick, like this is who this person is. And they don't play a huge role. They just are like part of the catalyst with
and
Felix. Otherwise, you're spending so much time on her. And
while it adds to the cast of characters, it unnecessarily adds to the cast of characters. Like, we don't need them. They're not going to serve any greater story. This isn't Linda's parents' burgers. This is Bob's burgers. So I don't think we need to expand the Bob extended universe at all.
Not at. And think about like this is a prequel episode, so it's like if you were like, and Star Wars does this way too much, is that they introduce something and then they never talk about it again, and everyone gets upset. Like, what happened to that? Who is that person? So I think Nora and Lauren know well enough not to do that, because then you have to spend a lot of time going back and talking about them and who they are, which is why we probably got Grover in earlier episodes to introduce Grover, instead of just being like, oh, who's Grover? Where's he come from? Like, oh no, he's been littered throughout the last 2 seasons.
If I remember correctly, I think it was Simon who we had on, or one of the folks from the show said that they always knew Grover was going to be the protagonist in the episode or in the movie. And that's why they introduced him in the show, so people would get to know him beforehand, and that it wasn't just a who the hell is this guy all of a sudden. So yeah,
because if you introduce someone in this prequel episode that's crucial to the plot, but you never hear about them again and you never see them again, it makes it seem very odd. Because even like when Bob's brought up Warren Fitzgerald, we did get the one episode with Warren.
And I mean, to that point, folks might say, well, what about the radio episode? We're only seeing Lily's mom once. That's a standalone episode.
It really
is its own thing. It doesn't progress the story any further. It's Bob telling a story. This is Bob's story. So I think it's going to be focused on Bob and Linda.
I think if we're going to get any tears or any things like or feelings, it's going to be from Bob and probably Linda. That's who we're going to get the feels from.
And when you think about it, we're going to see a rare form of Bob. We're going to see Bob with hope. We're going to see Bob at the beginning of his journey, wide-eyed. The world's at his doorstep. He hasn't been broken down yet.
I mean, we're seeing him like think back to like the Christmas episode where we see him make the like Richard Fitzsimmons burger, the persimmon, and like they're like, whoa, little Bob. It's like, sorry, I just get a little tense, get excited. Like that's the Bob.
I could see a scene of like seeing Bob at like the dinner table just writing down all of these like through the middle of the night.
I think we will see the Burger Bible with the Messiah. I think we're going to see all these recipes in these books and the ideas that he has. Because remember, like, that's who he was before. And he's kind of still that, but it takes really important moments and feelings for Bob to get there. Because he's kind of been worn out. He's been pushed down. He's kind of, he struggled. So finding hope and motivation sometimes for the little guy is hard. But this is, as Mike says, and I think it's a good point, we are going to see him like that. He's going to be really up and amped. And I think as more things go wrong, can he dig deep enough to get himself out? And I think you're going to see that he always kind of finds a way to. And I think it's just going to be interesting to see him because, I mean, he is at his most hopeful. He finally got away from his dad. It's his first place. It's his own place. He needs it to work because he has a family coming. This is that dream of like small town business.
And we saw a very brief glimpse of it in the movie. And I think that's where that's going to be.
Oh, when he's doing this with Linda and he's like,
I think that's going to be close to a jumping off point, or we may see the reverse perspective of that where we see them from the outside. So we hear the conversation that they're having. So in the movie, we saw it from the inside looking out. I think maybe in the show, we'll see it from the outside, hear their actual conversation, see him do all this.
Do you think we'll get a montage? Because when we see the building in the movie, there's no sign, there's no furniture, there's no booths, there's nothing in it. Do you think we're going to see a montage of like Teddy putting it together? Like very quick, like maybe time lapse with like, and then finally it ends with like the sign going up. The lights don't go on, but the sign's up. And
I could see a quick montage of like day to night, Teddy working on the inside coming out. And then, like you said, the last shot is the other guy gets out of flash. Yeah, Damon, we're trying to figure out what you guys did. But yeah, I think we could get a montage shot where like it's similar to when Bob was looking out at the sinkhole. We kind of got day to night.
It's one of my favorite shots, honestly.
We could get that shot. We see the inside slowly being built up. And then, like you said, at the very end of the montage, one part of the sign's already up. So essentially we're looking like this. And then they're kind of pulling up the sign like that. And then, boom, it ends Bob's Burgers. That's in my mind, and it seems like you as well, that's the montage I'm picturing.
And I think we're going for like, we know that Lauren and Nora are going to write it, so it's going to have some feeling to it. It's definitely going to have an emotional punch. I think it's just what will it do?
Because obviously the Lily episode, will Jimmy Jr. be there? I don't Damon, we are of the mind that none of the children will be there and that Linda is pregnant with Tina because
oh, do we get to see Mrs. Pesto from the back like Ginger? Oh, Pesto. Oh, Jimmy is definitely there.
For Pesto. Yeah, we think Pesto.
This is where the peeing races
Pesto, start. Fish odor. What am I? Teddy Mort, and then potentially roller skate guy.
Maybe roller. Yeah, maybe roller skate guy, and maybe a health inspector. We don't think it's Hugo. We think it could either be Ron or someone we don't know.
We don't think Hugo because he didn't know Linda was part of the restaurant until episode 1. Episode 1 clearly takes place after like 4 reopenings, so it wouldn't make sense. Damon, feel free to take all these notes and pass them on. If you guys might have messed up the timeline, run it by us. Give us the episode. We'll watch it first. We'll let you know.
I mean, we'll create a whole chart.
I have red string. We'll make it happen, my friend. So yeah, that's yeah, it's weird. I don't know what the emotional punch will be because obviously in the Lily episode, we had his mom Bob visiting his mom's grave for the first time.
Oh, this is a simple one. This is a simple answer. The emotional punch could be Linda is going to tell Bob she's pregnant. He doesn't know. Maybe that's the whole thing, is at the end of the night she's going to tell him.
Interesting.
But maybe it gets out early and he's like, it's got to work. Everything has to be perfect.
So Bob is stressed, has the stress of opening the restaurant, and Linda has the stress of not revealing that she's pregnant because that's undue stress. I know everything.
Thanks, David. I know everything, but I'll pretend.
Well, if we're not on the right track, Damon, if we're on the right track, don't respond. Yeah, there you go. Clearly.
I was waiting when I saw Yahoo's message because I was like, oh,
shit.
Yeah, he's already talking. We're way off.
I assume Lauren's watching from a post on high in the dark, making sure we're not getting all the secrets.
Mhm.
That is a pretty good gut punch. Emotional gut punch is her revealing that she's pregnant.
Because then it's real then, because like it has to
Well,
go well, because his whole family
let me ask:
riding
in
on
the
this.
movie flashback, was she already pregnant? Like showing?
I think she was. She had a little
Okay.
bit of a bump. I think it could also be. I don't know if it was pen to paper maybe made her pregnant. One of the like the art she was doing. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it again just to make sure. I'm sure it could pull up
My
still, but I've been trying to find it still and not found
my
it.
emotional trigger, not emotional trigger, but emotional beat, I think is going to be similar to Plight Before Christmas. You actually like our speculations? Oh, sweet. I think because in the Plight Before Christmas, you had Louise kind of delivering this emotional.
She's holding her
Okay, so
belly.
that implies
She's
that
doing one of
implies.
these.
But yeah, in Plight Before Christmas, the emotion.
Maybe she
Yeah.
knows it's a girl.
The emotional punch in Plight Before Christmas was Louise giving her speech. It wasn't anything big, but it was just like more of an emotional thing. I think in my version of things, the emotional punch is the restaurant opens and there's not really any foot traffic, nothing's really happening. They haven't sold anything, and then Bob makes his first sale, and then he's like, I've done it. I've succeeded. I've done it. This is the first in many, and that maybe that's the $5 bill that we see that he finds. He's like, this was our first sale, and I remember how good I felt in this moment. So maybe that's Bob's Christmas speech from Plight Before Christmas, or his version of.
I like that. I'm fine with
If we
it.
get a Halloween episode sometime this year, I guess that this ending will be a Halloween episode. We'll see. That's a season 15.
We're hoping for a spooky. Yeah, we're hoping for something
Yeah.
spooky soon. I mean, we would love to see. We're always about holidays, but we'd love to see at least one, maybe two. But we'll see what we get. We're happy with whatever we get.
We've been getting.
I'd love another Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it's been a little bit.
This was real. I wanted to indicate the night Tina was conceived. I assume that didn't really get far in the idea process there, Damon.
Mm-hmm. It's part of the 4 hour.
It's the 4-hour cut of the 300th episode. Maybe we just hear the moaning like we heard from Gloria in Crawl Space. Maybe that's how the episode ends. We just
maybe it does.
I'm actually sitting in a thumb meeting right now. Oh, well, bring us in. We'll talk to everybody. We'll let them know what we're thinking.
Yeah, we got some.
Yeah, you got time to change the entire episode to meet what we just said. Patch us in.
Mm-hmm. I can storyboard with stick figures.
Yeah. You here.
Mike
I can't draw.
While I pretend to board.
I can't draw, but we'll use this as like a Bob and a Linda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boy.
We could just use these pins. I'll get some pins.
Yeah, so just get us in. Just get us in the room where it happens for all you Hamilton fans, I think. Let's see, a good turn episode 300 is a Tina birthday episode. No, not Tina's birth. Tina's conception. That's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be the one to tell you why they're different. You can figure that out. Totally different.
Yep.
But yeah, that's I am simple question. You think there's an intro or no?
I don't. I think they pull right up to the restaurant in their car. I think that's it. Because if they do an intro, I think it's just going to be Linda and Bob in front with the things happening. And the cars are going to look older. The buildings are going to look older. I think it's going to be, if that's it, and then instead of them turning, it's going to be them walking into the restaurant. Like they were standing up front. Or they're going to come down the stairs and walk in.
I think...
And like, today's the big day.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be a traditional intro. I don't think there's going to be a modified intro. I think we're going to go right into the episode, like you said. But I think the end credits will be a modified...
the grand reopening sign in front as they come down. And that's their discussion, is it's the big day.
Yeah, it's happening
today.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I
that's how
think
Timmy sneaks in.
I like how I said I think I can reveal this, so I'll just put it in the public. I drew cigarettes ashtray on their apartment table. Got good laughs, but they nixed it for sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not gonna
I
show
can
him
totally
smoking.
see. I mean, it's part of the food industry. I can see Bob being a smoker at some point.
Mhm. I'm honestly surprised we haven't done any kind of nod to, or maybe I've missed it, to the bear yet.
To what?
The bear.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
chef. Yeah.
Yeah, anything like that. But I do think no traditional intro. I like your idea of them coming down, and whatever the catalyst for reflecting on why they are telling the story happens. But I think the outro or the credit scene should be a modified intro where it
I
shows
agree.
just Bob and Linda standing in front, and then maybe the progression of stuff, and then Linda's belly gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then yeah, I think that would be a fun little outro.
Is this too much? Does Linda give birth that night? Is
Yeah,
she not there because Tina is being born?
she's not at the restaurant. I
Just
wouldn't think
Bob.
Bob would. Well,
Maybe that's it as he closes the first opening.
Is that how we figure out the kid who he wasn't at the birth for?
Maybe.
Because remember in episode 1, he missed the birth
first
of one of the
he
kids.
missed it. Yeah, it was Tina.
Interesting. That would be a fun little callback, Damon.
Because we were poor and we had to work.
Damon, we're going to be looking for these things.
Maybe he closed early though to go see her.
We're going to have an extra special breakdown of this episode whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys
4 hours, guys, just like our first live broadcast.
It's like our fucking movie stream.
This is our Super Bowl.
I wonder, Damon,
Mayhem will be there to clear his name.
Alive.
He's still alive and well.
Damon, maybe I'm sure you can answer this question. Do you all have the same in-depth conversations that we do about this?
I'm just waiting for a blanket. No.
Yeah. No, stop asking. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the episode, jerk. Like, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, just pick our brains. We're here. We're here for you guys, Damon.
Yeah, we're here.
And I don't think Aaron's in the chat, but Aaron, if you're here, just let us know.